Hello and welcome to the midterm. These are the general instructions for the midterm, and I'm going to go through them uh, item by item so that we can all be on the same page. The first thing, and as is included in your syllabus, you will need to make sure you have Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor on your computer before you start. I will send you out this document. It has the link here for the video showing you exactly how to go about doing these things. Usually it starts when you get ready to take the quiz, but just in case it doesn't, you want to be sure that you've got enough time to still get the 2 hours in that you have to take the quiz before the deadline, which is 6 p.m. this coming Sunday evening. You've got between today, Monday, at 6 o'clock when the quiz opens or the midterm opens until next Sunday at 6 p.m. to take it. You will need 2 hours, so you want to be certain that you start no later than 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, but I don't recommend that, as you'll see in the fifth item, because if something happens and you can't get it in, then you've lost time on it, and you will need the whole 2 hours. All right, so as I said, I will send you this. So you will have that link. It will explain again how exactly to go about getting it if you've not used Respondus Lockdown Monitor or Respondus Browser before. As I said, you have 2 hours to take it, but it has to be done in one sitting. You cannot get up and walk away and come back. You have literally those 2 hours, and that is it. Once you are in the test, you've got the 2 hours. Once you exit the test, you cannot get back in. So be sure that you allocate your time well and you know what you're doing. Again, this is more advice from Respondus about how to go about taking it. I definitely encourage you to be sure that you pick somewhere where your computer has access to the internet, good access to the internet. When you go into the quiz, the midterm, which is located in the quiz section, it's going to give you the questions. You will answer directly into those boxes, even though, well, you're going to answer directly into those boxes. So you want to be sure that you are able to type well, that your computer is going to be stable, and that your internet's going to be stable. It is going to require access to your video camera because it has a proctoring function so that I can see what you're doing. Now, it's going to tell you you can't use anything else, but as we know, you can, and I'll respond to that in just a moment. So if it tells you that, don't worry about it. What it will not let you do, though, is go around anywhere on the internet to look for anything. Your browser will be locked down. You will not be able to use anything other than the window that is open to the test itself on your computer. So going on from there, there's help information there. If you have trouble with Respondus while you're trying to get it, again, this is part of why I encourage you, don't wait till the last minute to do it. All right, you will be allowed to use, for the midterm, your textbook, which must be either the von Sivers, Patterns of World History, the Bentley book, Traditions and Encounters, or Strayer and Nelson's Ways of the World. Those are the three that are listed in the syllabus. They're the three I keep asking you about when I talk about the textbook. It's one of those three. If you are using any other textbook, such as McKay's book or McLean's book, any of the others, you must email me before you start the midterm and get my permission to use that book. Otherwise, you should only be using one of those three major textbooks, von Sivers, Bentley, or Strayer and Nelson. You may also use the 3 diamond chapters that you will have read by the end of this coming week, chapters 4, 5, and 16, the 3 parts of Harari that we have already read, and the Frankopan, chapters 1 through 3. Now, you won't be able to access those on your computer, as I mentioned, because you will be in the lockdown function on the browser. So you're going to want to have access to those on something else. You may either print them out, which is not a bad idea, then you can make notes in the margins, or You're going to want to have access on a tablet or on your phone, and I would encourage you to have all of them already accessible so that you do not have to spend time bouncing around to find them. Have them where you can get to them. You only have 2 hours to take this exam, so you're not going to have a lot of time to be running around looking for stuff. You need to be very familiar with the material already, so that you already have a general idea of what you need and where it is in the sources. For citation purposes, you must cite in the form of author and page number. That's all the citation you got to give me, but I must have the page number in there. And all of them have page numbers on them. So be sure when you're citing that you specifically tell me which author, whether it's von Sivers, Bentley, Strayer Nelson, Diamond, Harari, or Frankopan, and then the specific page number that you're getting the information from. All right. Again, only 2 hours. So I encourage you, do not wait till the last minute on Sunday afternoon, because if something goes to the bad, you're out. I am closing the test. In fact, it will close specifically at 6 o'clock Sunday evening, because I have to get them graded so that I can post your midterm grades on Monday. So I don't have a lot of time to play with, and you don't have a lot of time to play with. The earlier you take it, the better off you are. The format of the test itself is 7 essay questions, 3 long answers that are worth 20 points each, and 4 short answers. You must use historical examples from the first 7 weeks of our class. Don't be bouncing all over the place telling me stuff about things that have been going on in the past 300, 400, 500 years, because that's not part of our course. It needs to be out of the examples that are in your textbook, again, von Sivers, Bentley, or Strayer Nelson, and it must include information from Frankopan, Diamond, and Harari. So be sure you nail down the big ideas with all of those guys, especially the ways in which they compare and contrast in terms of their interpretations of history and their focuses in history. Historical examples, definitely. If you are asked to discuss the differences between the way civilizations developed in the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, then you want to specifically show me specific civilizations, right? Don't just say, give me broad information. I mean, that's great for the critical thinking ideas, but it is not good for your general knowledge. The more examples you give me, the better your historical arguments are, the better your grades will be on each of the questions, and thus overall on the test itself. There is 1 extra credit option. Depending on how thoroughly you answer it, it can be worth up to 20 points. If I were taking this test, I would literally sit down first and read through all the questions before I decided which one to answer. Because with 2 hours, you want to maximize your point values. You want to be as thorough as you can with all of them. And again, you only have the 2 hours to do it. All right, if you have any questions, you can email me, but again, don't wait to the last minute. I am tied up next Sunday, so I will not be available most of the day to answer questions, which is another reason why you don't want to wait to the last minute to get this started. Good luck. Again, be sure you have all your sources around you, whichever textbook you're using, as well as the Harari, Frankopan, and Diamond chapters so that you can get to them. And I will bring you back to this again. I want to be sure that we're all very clear on this. I will be running these through Turnitin. If your Turnitin score matches to anything other than the sources that you are allowed to use, the grade for the entire exam will be 0. So do not go somewhere else and enter information that is not pertinent to these 4 sources. It is mandatory that you use these, but only these. Again, if you're using some other textbook other than the 3 that you could choose from listed in the syllabus, email me and get my permission before you take the test. This is not a situation where I'm going to be forgiving after it's already done. If I don't see these 4, or if your Turnitin score shows me that you're getting something from somewhere else, it's going to be a 0, because I'm not going to be dealing with those kind of problems. So let me know if you have questions, or again, if you're using another textbook, let me know before you start taking the test. Any other questions, feel free to email me. Again, just be prepared that when you start the test, you've got that 2 hours to finish it. Don't waffle around. You're not going to be able to come back into it once you exit it. Good luck.